We're in.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm. And ready.
Live?
Live, all the way live,
All
baby.
right, cool.
Ready to go.
All right, so today I want to talk about the seasons. We just passed the fall autumn equinox, and when we look at the change of seasons, it's important to see it like how we see a 24-hour clock. All right, so every 6 hours we have a shift, and so every 6 hours, it's like every shift that we have in the season, it's like we've gone through a 6-hour period in a 24-hour clock. Now there's a few things that happen with the equinox and the solstices, but I look at them, the solstices are a little different than the equinoxes, but I look at them very similarly because I look at all four of them as like four corners on a square, which means if we're traveling along that square, we have to come to that point in the square, and when we come to that, as we approach that point and we move on from that point, it's like we have to slow down, just like if we were driving in a car, we come to a corner, or even if you're walking or running, you come to that corner, you have to either come to a complete stop or at least slow down considerably. And so when we come to these pivot points within the season, it becomes important to reflect on the previous season, look forward to the next season. But then this also has effect on us, on our physiology. We're not able to digest as effectively and efficiently, and when we look at health, we have to look, it really starts with our digestive firepower. And so given that our digestion is not on the same level as it is within the middle period between the equinox and the solstice, this becomes a great time to fast, to detox, and also, as I said, reflect on the previous season and look forward to the next season. With the equinox, and given the fall equinox that we just experienced, the fall equinox is the midpoint between the summer solstice and the winter solstice. So we're really preparing ourselves for the winter solstice. And with this midpoint, this is a time where the sun energy is on a decline, and to the point where we have the shortest amount of sunlight within the day. So if we look at the sun, again, related to our physiology, it's going to be our willpower, it's going to be our overall energy, it's going to be associated with our identity, our ego, and it's also going to have an impact on our digestion as well. So this is really a time to really start preparing the body to eat less and less as we approach the winter solstice. And so we could start by not eating every day. We can definitely eat once a day, as I always recommend. And as we come closer, we really just want to listen to our body, become more in tune with it. We don't want to eat just for entertainment. And of course, as we know in our society, we have the most festive holidays during this period between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. So I don't see this as a coincidence, but what it does is if we really indulge in this time, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, or some of the other holidays that other religions may practice, this is really an undoing of our physiology. It is an undoing primarily because we're getting ready for bed, so to speak. You know, as we move to the winter solstice is like the equivalent of 12 midnight, where right now we're at like 6-7 p.m. with the fall equinox. So 6-7 p.m. is when we've had our final meal. This is what we see, you know, if you're in this part of the world, this is like our harvest season. So we're getting ready for, I guess, somewhat of a hibernation. So with any hibernation, we've got our food. It's like if we had a farm and we collected we farmed all our food for the rest of the year, we'd have to ration that food in order to make it to a spring. So with that in mind, we sort of want to put ourselves on some sort of like just restriction in terms of how much we consume during the day and not consuming food every day. And when we do that, we're preparing our bodies for really the ultimate rest, which we should get during the winter solstice. And when we're able to get it's like getting a good night's sleep each and every day, it prepares us for the next day. So if we get a good rest between now and the winter solstice, we're preparing ourselves for 2021, or for any new year for that matter. When after the winter solstice, the energy begins to build, our energy has been renewed, and we are refreshed from the fact that we've given what is the primary aspect to our health, which is our digestive health, our digestive fire. If we give that the rest, and we honor it and we trust it in terms of not overindulging during this period upcoming of overindulgence, then we're really honoring it. We're really respecting the fact that we basically right now, this is almost like the end of the year in a sense. We've done, like, even aside from food, all of our goals and objectives and the things that we worked for should be evaluated during this time. We don't necessarily want to be starting new things, having new objectives that we're trying to achieve between now and the end of this year. It's like this year is done. It will be much more effective and efficient to reflect on next year, to say, okay, I want to start a new business. Okay, I want to start this new project, or whatever it is that you may want to do. Start to reflect on that and use the energy of nature, use the cosmos and how the planets relate to one another, and by syncing your activities with it, you're able to have that wind at your back versus that wind at your front, and you're able to be a lot more effective and efficient. I think by honoring our as above cosmos, we're able to become more efficient and effective. And so, and then we also create we create a rhythm that is going to aid in our longevity. Just as, again, very simple, and it's very simple to see if we looked at it as a 24-hour cycle. Within a 24-hour day, again, we're not necessarily, at the end of the day, what do we want to do? We want to relax. We want to, we've been working all day, and it's really not the ideal time, like 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. It's not the ideal time to begin something. You want to be doing something, whatever you've been doing all that day, when the sun is at its high point, the energy is high, your energy is high. So this is really the same thing, and we're just stretching it out to look at it from kind of a bird's eye view. All right, so this is big, and of course I talk about fasting, and fasting is the ultimate rest. And there's obviously different types of fast. There's water fasting, coconut water, fresh juices. For those that are familiar with the work that I do, I'm a big advocate of fresh juices and coconut water. I feel that those are the ideal fluids that we should put within the body, but they also come with a programming that can allow us to eat better once we come off of the fast. That programming is the vitamin C and the phytonutrients and the colors and the water. The water is cosmic in the sense that this water is like, for example, cucumber. That's water. It's just cucumber flavored water, or water that's being pulled by a cucumber stem into the cucumber fruit. Same with the coconut, whether it be a melon, whether it be citrus. All of these things we need to look at as water. There's different types of water that Mother Nature creates with the soil, with the sun, with the rain, with the moon, and all of the elements in nature. So if we're using these things as our water, again, they come with instructions, and part of that is it also serves as a detergent, internal detergent for the body. And these things can help eliminate the excess mucus in the system. And when we understand mucus is really at the heart of most, if not all, diseases. So we really want to manage the mucus buildup that may be in every part of our body. And there is no drug, there is no herb that is going to effectively and efficiently rid the body of those excess mucus, the excess mucus deposits that are spread out all throughout our body, than doing a coconut water juice cleanse. So yes. So I hope that you have gotten some insight into the equinox as we prepare for this fall season going into the winter solstice. Just to share winter solstice, because when we look at it in reference to, again, the summer solstice, spring equinox, fall equinox, winter solstice, that is the lowest point. That is the time that is equivalent to 12 midnight. So for me personally, that is the time where I do my long fast. And when for me, a long fast is at least 10 days, 10 to 14 days. I just really listen to my body. When first week of December rolls around, I know when it's time for me to begin, because eating becomes more of a chore than it is anything else. Food is not as tasty or enjoyable. So if you're feeling that now, that's your body telling you, like, okay, it's time to fast. So every December, like clockwork, my body knows, okay, it's time to go in. And some of the things that I like to do, especially given that the fact in December, the temperatures are usually cooler. So some of the things I like to do, because when you fast, your blood does thin, and you become more sensitive to cold, which is one of the somewhat drawbacks of doing a fast, especially a longer fast in December. However, I've done it for years. The benefits far outweigh any inconvenient discomfort that I get from the cold weather in December. But I do things like take warm to hot baths every day, maybe even twice a day if you need it. That will also help with the mucus elimination, because the warm bath is going to stimulate and help move the lymphatic system. Another thing that I do is actually earth. The earth is always cold, usually even in the wintertime. And what's interesting is, like, when you put your bare feet on the earth, even though it may feel cold initially, it's like your body becomes one with that. So it's like doing the thing, you know, we want to put on shoes and socks and sort of kind of, you know, really cut ourselves from that cool energy, but it's actually just the thing that we really need to do, especially in the wintertime, is really connect with that cool earth. And you know, I've talked about earthing, but earthing is or grounding is one of the most powerful medicines, and it's free. But we just gotta have that consciousness and awareness to connect with it, skin to skin contact, touching the earth, which also, you know, when we connect to that negative charge, the earth is negatively charged, it has an abundance of negatively charged electrons, which go into our body. Simultaneously, they reduce EMFs, electromagnetic fields, which we get just electricity in general. So they zero those out, number one. Any inflammation inside the body from bad food choices, from any sort of trauma, like physical trauma, like maybe we have a bruise or even a cut, or we have something that's somewhat off balance. Earthing can help to eliminate that excess inflammation, because that inflammation, that pain, that discomfort is positively charged. So again, those electrons is going to net. We're electrical beings, you know. So earthing is another powerful health habit. Taking the hot baths, and then most importantly is just really taking a rest on multiple levels. So, you know, given what you can do in terms of work, family, and other responsibilities that you may have, you just may want to find an opportunity to sort of get more into your whatever your spiritual work is and your spiritual practice, meditation, light yoga, light stretching, and just rest. You know, just really taking it easy and not really stimulating or overstimulating the senses. You know, with again, we know about technology, but just even with just being festive in our traditional festive time. So I think that what I've said is sufficient, and wherever you may be watching this, I'm sure that there is you can comment or ask questions. You can reach out to me, and more videos to come. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Just reach out to me, share, like, subscribe, wherever this may be, and appreciate you.